Well, thank you all for coming. I appreciate that. And as was introduced, I'm going to be talking about how muscles contract and why they fail. And I'm going to deal with the structural and functional basis of muscle contraction. And this is mostly borne out in 3 books. The first one deals specifically with muscles and how they contract. The second one also deals with muscles, but it's a bit more general. It deals with the role of water, not only in muscle contraction, but also in cell biology as a whole. And the third one, which in fact came out 6 months ago, it's called the 4th phase of water. Now, you all know that water has 3 phases, right? Solid, liquid, and vapor. But we found a 4th phase. And it turns out that this 4th phase plays a central role in all of nature, especially in biology. So I'll be coming back to talk about how that relates to muscles. So the first hour deals with contraction at the molecular level, and I'm going to talk. This presentation will be different from presentations that you've heard before, I'm quite sure. I'm going to talk about the theory, the molecular theory of contraction. And I think many of you have learned a bit about that theory, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's completely wrong. And then I'll go on to try to present some evidence toward your understanding of what is actually closer to the truth, and I think relates much more directly to muscle pathologies, easier to understand. In the second part, I deal with water and phase transition, something you may not be so familiar with, but they're really simple and absolutely relevant, and turn all of that information into a better understanding of pathology of muscles. So we start with this. This is an electron micrograph taken by a dear friend of mine, Charles Trumbitas, and it shows myofibrils. See, and this is a honeybee muscle, so something you're not so familiar with, but it's beautiful. The question is, from this, can we learn something about, is the sliding filament theory, or sliding filament crossbridge theory that I think most of you know about, is it adequate? And if not, what is adequate? It starts off with 2 really important figures who unfortunately passed away just the past 2 or 3 years.